Welcome to Behind the Legends. Are you ready to uncover the human side of the icons who shaped history? In this fourth episode, we'll dive into the life of one of the most extraordinary voices of all time, Whitney Houston. Beyond the spotlight, there was a woman who lived intensely, navigating triumphs and challenges. Let's uncover the behind-the-scenes story of her incredible journey. 1. Childhood and musical roots. Whitney Elizabeth Houston was born on August 9, 1963, in Newark, New Jersey, into a world rich with music and culture. From the moment she entered the world, it seemed her destiny was written in the stars. Her mother, Cissy Houston, was a gospel powerhouse, and her cousin, Dionne Warwick, was already making waves as a legendary soul singer. Even Aretha Franklin, the queen of soul herself, was a close family friend. Whitney didn't just grow up surrounded by music, she was immersed in it, as if the melodies and harmonies were woven into the very fabric of her childhood. But life wasn't always a perfect song. In 1967, the Newark riots devastated the city, and her family moved to a safer neighborhood in East Orange. Despite the challenges of the times, the Houston household remained a sanctuary of love, faith, and music. Little Whitney often sat in the pews of the New Hope Baptist Church, mesmerized by the power of gospel. By the age of 11, she was singing in the junior choir, and her voice stood out even then, angelic, powerful, and deeply emotional. Her mother recognized that this was no ordinary talent. Cissy began coaching Whitney, honing her raw gift into a refined instrument. She taught her the importance of control, emotion, and the ability to tell a story through song. But Cissy wasn't just a teacher, she was a role model. Whitney watched her mother perform with the sweet inspirations, backing up music giants like Elvis Presley. These experiences planted a dream in Whitney's heart. She wanted to sing, not just in churches but on the world's biggest stages. As a teenager, Whitney began to step into the spotlight, modeling during the day and singing backup vocals at night. She recorded with Chaka Khan and Lou Rawls, her voice already a force to be reckoned with. Yet, even as she began to glimpse fame, she remained deeply grounded. Her mother's influence and the gospel roots of her upbringing instilled in her a humility and spirituality that would remain central to her life, even as the world came to know her as the Voice. Whitney's childhood wasn't just the foundation of her career, it was the origin of her magic. Her early years were a testament to the power of nurture, talent, and faith, a combination that would set the stage for her to become one of the greatest singers of all time. 2. Rise to stardom. The world first met Whitney Houston in the mid-1980s, but her journey to stardom began long before that. In 1983, at just 19 years old, she was discovered by Clive Davis, the legendary record producer behind some of the biggest names in music. Davis immediately recognized her extraordinary gift, describing her voice as one that comes along once in a lifetime. With his guidance, Whitney signed with Arista Records and began working on her debut album, a project that would catapult her into superstardom. When Whitney Houston, her self-titled debut album, was released in 1985, it wasn't just a success, it was a sensation. The album featured hits like Saving All My Love for You, How Will I Know, and Greatest Love of All, songs that showcased her remarkable range and emotional depth. Each note she sang felt like a personal connection, touching the hearts of millions. Her voice wasn't just beautiful, it was transformative, a gift that transcended genres and generations. The world couldn't get enough. Whitney became a household name almost overnight. Her radiant beauty, coupled with her unmatched talent, made her a star who seemed almost too good to be true. She graced magazine covers, dominated radio airwaves, and appeared on television specials, her presence as captivating as her music. Her image was carefully crafted as America's sweetheart, poised, elegant, and wholesome. But behind that perfect exterior, Whitney was just beginning to grapple with the pressures of fame. By the time her second album, Whitney, was released in 1987, she had achieved what few artists ever do, true global stardom. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, historic achievement for a female artist at the time, and featured hits like "I Wanna Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me." Her infectious energy and undeniable talent made her a beacon of joy in a world that often felt uncertain. As the accolades poured in, Whitney's star continued to rise. She won countless awards, including multiple Grammys, and performed to sold-out audiences around the world. But her talent wasn't confined to music. In 1992, she made her film debut in The Bodyguard, opposite Kevin Costner. The movie was a massive hit, but it was her performance of "I Will Always Love You" that truly stole the show. That song became a cultural phenomenon, cementing her status as one of the greatest vocalists of all time. Whitney's rise to stardom was meteoric, but it was also deeply personal. Every success, every note, and every standing ovation was rooted in the same passion and faith that had guided her from the church choir in Newark. She wasn't just a star, she was a force of nature, and the world was lucky to witness her brilliance. 3. Inner Demons. Behind Whitney Houston's radiant smile and breathtaking voice lay a story of struggle, a battle that fame and fortune could never shield her from. As her career reached stratospheric heights, the pressures of stardom began to weigh heavily on her. For someone so gifted, life in the spotlight was both a blessing and a burden, and behind closed doors, Whitney faced challenges that would shape the rest of her life. Her marriage to Bobby Brown in 1992 was a turning point. Initially seen as a fairy tale romance between two music superstars, their relationship quickly became turbulent. Bobby, known for his bad boy persona, clashed with Whitney's polished public image. Theirs was a passionate but chaotic union, marked by rumors of infidelity, heated arguments, and public controversies. Over time, their relationship became a lightning rod for media scrutiny, with Whitney's every move dissected and criticized. But it wasn't just the marriage that took a toll on her. The relentless demands of fame, the tours, the interviews, the constant need to be perfect, created cracks in the carefully curated image of America's sweetheart. Whitney, like so many stars, turned to substances as a means of coping. Alcohol and drugs became her escape from the unrelenting pressures of her career and personal life. Her struggles were no secret. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Whitney's public appearances began to spark concern. Her once clear and powerful voice started to show signs of strain, and her erratic behavior made headlines. Interviews became awkward spectacles, and cancelled performances fueled speculation. The woman who had once been untouchable now seemed vulnerable, human in a way that made her fans worry for her well-being. Yet, Whitney was no stranger to resilience. Throughout these years, she made several attempts to reclaim her life. She sought help through rehab and leaned on her faith and family for support. Her love for her daughter, Bobby Christina, was a driving force in her efforts to heal. But the grip of addiction and the weight of her struggles proved difficult to escape entirely. Whitney's inner demons were a stark contrast to her public persona, a reminder that even the brightest stars can burn under the weight of their own brilliance. Her battles were heartbreaking but deeply relatable, showing that behind her extraordinary talent was a woman yearning for peace, love, and understanding. For all her challenges, she remained a symbol of strength and vulnerability, a reminder that even legends are only human. 4. Tragic End and Immortal Legacy. On February 11, 2012, the world was shaken by the news of Whitney Houston's untimely death. Found lifeless in the bathtub of her suite at the Beverly Hilton Hotel, just hours before a pre-Grammy party, Whitney's passing felt like the end of an era. She was only 48 years old, a voice silenced far too soon. The coroner's report later revealed that heart disease and cocaine use were contributing factors, a stark reminder of the struggles she had faced in her later years. Her death sent shockwaves across the globe. Fans, fellow artists, and public figures mourned the loss of a woman who had given the world so much. Tributes poured in, each one highlighting not only her unparalleled talent but also the deep personal impact she had on those who knew her and those who were touched by her music. In many ways, Whitney's passing symbolized the fragility of even the brightest stars. Yet, even as the world grieved, her legacy began to crystallize. Whitney wasn't just a singer, she was the singer, a voice that defined a generation and set a standard for vocal excellence that remains unmatched. Songs like, I Will Always Love You, Greatest Love of All, and I Wanna Dance with Somebody continue to resonate, not just as hits but as anthems of love, empowerment, and joy. Her influence extended far beyond the music charts. Whitney broke barriers as a black woman in the music industry, becoming the first artist to have 7 consecutive #1 singles and paving the way for countless artists who followed. Her crossover success in films like The Bodyguard and Waiting to Exhale showed the world that her talent knew no bounds. But Whitney's true legacy lies in the way her voice made people feel. It wasn't just the technical perfection, though that was undeniable, it was the soul behind every note, the way her singing seemed to reach deep into the heart of anyone who listened. Her performances were a testament to the power of music to connect, to heal, and to inspire. Even today, Whitney Houston's presence is felt everywhere, from reality singing competitions where contestants aim to replicate her power, to the streaming platforms where her songs continue to top playlists. She remains a symbol of greatness, a reminder of what it means to touch the world with a gift so rare it defies description. Her story is one of triumph and tragedy, of breathtaking highs and heartbreaking lows. But above all, it's a story of a woman whose voice will echo through the ages, immortal and irreplaceable. Whitney Houston may be gone, but her music, her legacy, and the love she inspired will live on forever. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Behind the Legends. Whitney Houston left behind a legacy of unparalleled music and a story that continues to teach us valuable lessons. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss upcoming episodes. In the next one, we'll explore the hidden side of another legendary figure. Who will it be? Stay tuned to find out.